Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today and talk recipes. So, gonna be real relaxed today and share my recipes. Again, like most of my videos, I'm not recreating any wheels. I'm not inventing new things, and I am not creative in the kitchen. I've already told y'all that. But these are super simple. So when you are tired and not in the mood to cook, you can pull out my recipes any day because I'm never in the mood to cook. And then I really hope you will share some with me. Okay, I'm going to start out with a vegetable recipe. Okay, what this is a Parmesan squash. You're going to get your yellow squash. You're going to slice it into round discs all the way down. The thinner you get them, the crispier they can be. And trial and error, I like mine super crispy. Mine are almost paper thin when I do them. Then I spray them with my spray butter, salt it, and then lightly sprinkle it with Parmesan. Just the kind of Parmesan that you sprinkle on pizza. Then stick it in the oven, and I also sometimes put oregano on it. Then I put that in the oven at 350 to 400, and then I don't have a time on that, just watch it. And when it is as brown as you want it, you take it out. They're just delicious dipped in ketchup or ranch, and I'll make a whole cookie sheet of them. My family even loves them. Then, okay, cauliflower mashed potatoes. I love to make these cauliflower mashed potatoes and eat them with the baked Parmesan squash. Delicious with a broccoli salad I'm going to show you. That is a plate full of veggies. Cauliflower mashed potatoes, you get a whole head of cauliflower, take off the parts that you don't want, and then kind of break it up. And I put it in a steamer, and I tell y'all, I didn't have a steamer and I bought one. And it's just, I'll get it. Okay, this is my steamer. It looks like this one. The top part of it has holes in it. If you are not as much of a cook, if you are like me and not that much of a cook, this is what a little steamer looks like. And you put water in the bottom of it, then put your cauliflower in the top, and it has a lid. And then I bring it to a boil with the lid on it, and then turn it down to where it's not gonna, like a medium high heat. And I think I cooked that for about 20 minutes. And when it gets pretty soft, take it out and I put it in my food processor, chop it up where it's creamy. And then I pour spray butter in it where they're almost like a yellowish color, and some salt to taste. Now, if you are used to eating a lot of potatoes, you may be like, that doesn't taste like potatoes, but I don't eat potatoes very often because of my blood sugar issues. So to me, they're a delicious substitute for mashed potatoes. Okay, that's the cauliflower mashed potatoes. If you have any questions about any of these, leave it below and I'll get back to you on them. Okay, the broccoli salad. I made that this week and it's delicious. I got my broccoli slaw that I showed y'all on the staples in my kitchen. You could do regular coleslaw. Cabbage is good for you too. I do 2 bags of it and I put it in a big metal mixing bowl. Then I get a jar of light mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip. If you were in the South, those are interchangeable, but this is not Miracle Whip, this is mayonnaise. And then I put I'm going to say half of a large jar in it, as much as I want of the mayonnaise. Put it in there until it's got as much mayonnaise in it as you want. Stir that up. Then I use Splenda with a little bit of sugar, because if you just put, a 1/4 of a cup of sugar and you're eating this whole thing over a week and a half or a week, that's not much sugar in a sitting. So I do some Splenda and then I add some sugar just so I kind of cut down on my sugar substitute. So whatever sugar substitute you want in it. So you've got your mayonnaise, you've got your sugar substitute, then you get lemon juice. And this adds a little bit of a tangy bite to it. And y'all, I put some lemon juice in it. Just put it in there to taste. Sometimes I will cook bacon and crumble that up in it. You can also do sunflower seeds in it for a little bit of salty. A good diet tip, though, is to just make it with the mayonnaise and lemon and sweetener. And then every day, just decide what you want to add to it. If you want a little extra protein, add a couple of strips of bacon to your one portion that you're having that night. Cranberries are delicious in it. I've added dried cranberries to it. Okay, butternut squash. You cook your butternut squash in the oven until it gets kind of soft, that outer shell gets soft, and then you cut it. And then I cut it into strips, peel it. This takes a while. Cut it, then put it on a cookie sheet. Spray it with spray butter, put salt on it, put it back in the oven. And I don't have cook times on this. You just have to watch it until it's cooked like you want it. It's almost like a sweet potato French fry. I dip them in ketchup or ranch. They're delicious. Okay, spaghetti squash. Now, I forget about this one, but it's very good. You put the whole squash, cook your spaghetti squash, then cut it. And I take a fork and kind of strip it out of there, and it comes out like noodles. I'm sure you've all heard of that. Then I eat that several different ways. I either put spray butter on it and salt and eat it just with butter and salt. But I'll tell you how I really love it with spaghetti sauce. And do a spaghetti sauce. And then I'll cook some ground turkey and put that on top of the spaghetti squash. It is almost like spaghetti. Also, when I was trying to be a vegetarian, I would do spiraled zucchini. Delicious. The same way that I just told you to do the spaghetti squash. I love spiraled zucchini like that. And you can get a little spiraler at Bed Bath & Beyond for just nothing, like $10, I think. And then you just twist it. And those come out in little round strips, and they're kind of fat, and so you can really get a good chew going with them. Put ground turkey or hamburger, and Dr. Emmett, however you want. Those were delicious. I haven't done that in a long time. I just thought of that. Okay, and then another recipe, y'all, I love this one. Get a whole bunch of apples, like 6 of them. Quarter them. I leave the peel on. My mom takes the peel off. Quarter them, put them in a roasting pan, no water. Cover them with a whole bottle of spray butter. And then I put quite a bit of Splenda and a little bit of sugar and cinnamon if you want. Bring those to where they're bubbling. Turn it on high, but stand there. Turn it till they're bubbling, then turn it down. Heat of 2 or 3. Put the lid on it. And then I believe I was cooking those, haven't done it in a while, for 45 minutes. But watch it the first time you do it. Y'all, it is like apple pie. And it's probably better to eat a raw apple. But if it's between a piece of pie and cooked apples, what are we better off with? I mean, I will eat those, y'all, big bowls of them. When my sweet tooth gets bad, I will eat those at night, warmed up. I make a whole roaster of them so they last a week, and then you don't have to cook them every time. I'll get them out, heat them up in the microwave, and then put Cool Whip on top of them with a cup of decaf. Y'all, that is a treat. I mean, I could pretty much never eat dessert again. If I have Atkins bars and those cooked apples, delicious. But you have to be careful with fruit because that'll knock your blood sugar off if you're sensitive to that. I have to be careful with fruit. Dishes that I cook at night. Right now, these are the things I'm eating a lot of. The first one is taco soup. Okay, you do your hamburger meat. I'll do 2 pounds of hamburger meat. Cook that. Then a can of Rotel, a can of green chilies, a can of pinto beans, a can of ranch style beans. If you don't like ranch style beans, you can do 2 pintos. Then I put a can of drained corn and 3/4 of a packet of, or you can put a packet of, I like the cheesy taco seasoning that you just get with all the seasonings, just the little powder packets. I put the cheesy taco seasoning or just regular taco seasoning. And then I don't like it to be too rich. You can either put a whole packet of dried ranch dressing. I put a half because I don't like it to be too strong. Can of petite diced tomatoes. They're by the Rotel. Sometimes I put 2 cans of the tomatoes, but that's just because I like the tomatoes in there. Then another dish I make, this is my Mexican dish that I talked about in my diet video. I'm going to tell you what we really call it. At my house, we call it, it's my mom's recipe, we call it Mexican mess. If you're in Texas, you'll be like, oh yeah, we do Mexican mess. It's 2 pounds of hamburger, a can of Rotel, a can of pinto beans, and a can of chilies if you want it. Cook, but do the ground beef cooked, and then add all that stuff into it. Simmer it for a while till everything gets soft and kind of melted together. You can eat that a million different ways. I eat that in a bowl just like the taco soup. It has a little bit different taste. That's what I had last night. I had a bowl of that, the broccoli salad, a handful of pita chips, and it was delicious. And I thought, I need to tell them how delicious this is. It was so good. I don't remember if I added queso last night or not, but you can add queso anytime, just a spoon. And I like to put the queso in there cold and use it as a dip for my pita chips. Okay, then I had a request from a new subscriber that is from my hometown, y'all. And she wanted to know my chicken salad recipe. Okay, my chicken salad, and I keep this, I'm going to do this. You made me hungry for chicken salad. I stew a chicken. If you don't know how to stew a chicken, Google that. Let it cool off. Then take all the meat off the bone. Put it in a bowl, and then I put either light mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, whichever you prefer. And then I add, y'all may think this is gross, but for a little sweetness, I pour a little bit of juice from bread and butter pickles into it for a little sweetness. And that's all I do to my chicken salad. I add a little salt, pepper, sugar to taste, or Splenda, whatever you want to do. And that's what I keep in the fridge. Every day, as my mood changes, I can add what I want to it. Some days I add almonds to it, dried cranberries, sunflower seeds, whatever I'm in the mood for. But I like to keep it naked or just real plain, because then as my mood changes, I can change what I do with it. Now, how I eat the chicken salad, sometimes I just eat it with a spoon. If I need the protein, sometimes I'll dip pita chips in it. Never for a snack do I do that, but for dinner, I will do that with pita chips and have that for dinner. Also, sometimes for a light dinner, I will just have pita chips, or you could do crackers. And if I just do this for dinner, I'm going to do a bigger carb load than I normally would. I'll do 2 handfuls probably of pita chips, and then 2 or 3 Laughing Cows, cut up an apple, and that will be my dinner. And it's very good. If you just want something super light, that is a really good dinner. If I'm having a really low calorie day, y'all, this is delicious. If I want to make it a lower calorie, I will get steam fresh mixed vegetables, and then I'll do frozen green beans and put all that together. Y'all, it's a vegetable, seriously, about like that much vegetables, like a bunch. Then, I have a hard time stomaching my veggies. So what I do is I get one of these Mexican dishes, whatever I've got made up, warm the vegetables up, and then I'll put a couple of spoons of whatever Mexican dish usually that I have made, the taco soup, the Mexican mess, and I'll put a little bit of that on the top of it, like half a serving, or a serving, whatever you want, and put that on top of it. And either put a spoon of queso, which is 100 calories, but the rest of it, that's about 150 calories you're talking about right there. And your bowl is about that big, but it's mostly veggies, but you've added a little bit of good taste on top of it, plus a little bit of queso or Laughing Cow, and just eat that without the pita chips, because you're cutting off 150, 200 calories right there. If I'm having a super light day, I will just do a big bowl of the mixed vegetables, add some green beans on it, but I like green beans. A big bowl of the veggies, then put I keep the spray butter kind of with me. Spray it, put salt on it, put 2 or 3 Laughing Cows on it. Again, it's 150 calories. And get a little bit of the Laughing Cow and a little bit of the veggie with that. And I will just have that for dinner if I want something light. So those are the ways I eat light dinners if I want something light. And I think those are my main recipes right now. Now those change as my taste changes. I'll get tired of these after a little while, and I'll come back to y'all with more of what I'm eating. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all are liking. If you've got some good recipes like that, just put those down there. And if you have any questions or comments, put those down there. If you are just visiting, like and subscribe and hit the little bell, and you'll get notified every time I upload one of these. I'm mostly a makeup channel, but yeah, we're doing this on Fridays. And so anyway, I hope y'all are having a good day, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.